I didn't remember much.
Oh! Good to see you, Alan.
Remedy Entertainment has had a long and winding road when it comes to Alan Wake. In 2010, the original game and its smaller downloadable follow-up American Nightmare became cult hits, but Microsoft had Remedy move on to other projects afterwards. Quantum Break continued the studio's experimental narrative presentation with an attached television show, but similarly garnered mixed reception. Then, with the release of the critically acclaimed Control, the Remedy Connected Universe was officially born, tying in threads directly from Alan Wake with hints at more to come. Now, Alan Wake 2 draws from over a decade of risk and innovation to deliver a creative work that stands head and shoulders above anything else Remedy's made so far.
Hello? Hello?
For 13 years since the original game, Alan Wake has been trapped in the Dark Place, a supernatural nightmare dimension that uses Wake to rewrite reality. In the real world, FBI agent Saga Anderson and her partner Alex Casey are sent to the town of Bright Falls, Washington to investigate a series of ritualistic killings. Things naturally go awry as paranormal forces begin to corrupt reality. The stakes are as high as they are intimate, with the entire region at risk of being swallowed in darkness, and Saga's own family caught in the crosshairs. With dual protagonists who see things unfold from dramatically different perspectives and sporadic live-action sequences, it's not just the narrative, but the way it's told that propels the adventure forward and keeps you invested in both the bold twists and turns, as well as the quiet moments in between.
I'll make you pay.
The haunting atmosphere in Alan Wake 2 is nothing short of legendary. Saga is free to explore the peculiar town of Bright Falls and its surrounding areas, learning about the long history that's led up to the current unsettling events, and getting to know the eccentric residents. Supporting characters like a pair of brothers who have started several local businesses lend so much to the town's personality, while an uneasy tension lurks beneath the surface as characters seem to know more than they let on. Dark wooded areas, thick with dense fog, are frightening and bewildering as enemies stalk you, making navigation and item procurement dangerous. Grisly murder scenes, juxtaposed with a beautiful countryside, help create an environment that's striking to look at in different ways, and typically jolly places like an abandoned amusement park evoke a sinister mood.
Where'd you go from here? I can feel something. A presence.
Alan, on the other hand, must navigate the Dark Place, which manifests as an urban hub with a hotel, theater, and subway station, among other spots. Light is a key element, whether it's streetlights that can be used for a brief moment of safety or the fluorescent neon glow of signs that help with navigation. Since this world is a nightmare conjured from Alan's writing, reality can bend or shift in unexpected ways, purposely disorienting you and making you question what lies behind every door. Ominous shadows menacingly whisper Alan's name when he journeys from one location to another and interacts with his own host of enigmatic characters. Playing as both leads works tremendously thanks to the different settings, but also because getting inside both of their heads yields crucial details to each side of the mystery. They are separately trying to accomplish the same goal through different methods, and when their paths cross, it has meaningful ramifications. There are long stretches of time where you don't have to worry about fighting for your life, but whenever enemies approach, it's tense and impactful. Like the first game, light is your best friend, and each character's flashlight can dispel dark shrouds protecting enemies, making them vulnerable to firearms. Pistols and shotguns have intense feedback as you blast at intimidating shadows that relentlessly lurk towards you. The dodge button can be a little too powerful thanks to a generous window, but timing it perfectly can cause enemies to stumble and fall. Outside of a few boss fights, there are only a handful of enemy types, like hatchet-throwing maniacs or knife-slashing freakos, and they mostly look the same, which can start to diminish the horror as the hours go on. The narrative context makes sense, but a few surprises and different strategies to deal with enemies would have elevated combat encounters to the next level. While the original Alan Wake was geared towards action-adventure, the sequel leans more directly into survival horror. Managing resources like health and ammo is important, but even on hard, veterans of the genre may feel like they have more than enough supplies, which can reduce the tension and joy of finding them. Still, each shot matters, and even when you're flush with ammo, you don't want to miss, as the enemies are appropriately dangerous when you need a moment to heal or reload. Exploration is a key component of the genre, and Bright Falls and The Dark Place represent the best of survival horror, thanks to unforgettable visuals. Additionally, Alan has a lamp, an object of power that can transform the world around you by allowing you to take light from one source and transfer it to the next, which then changes physical details such as opening doors or stairways. Shifting locations to progress or finding optional secrets highlights the strange reality he's trapped in, while also allowing you to get fully immersed in your surroundings. There's a hefty number of puzzles scattered throughout the game's woods and alleyways. The cult in Bright Falls has placed locked supply caches around each area that can be opened in a variety of clever ways, typically involving careful examination and exploration. There are also lunchboxes and strange writings that can be found to upgrade each character's weapons or abilities. It can be fairly easy to get lost, even if you find the optional maps of each area, as some objectives can be vague, but this approach leads to more intimate investigations as you focus on the atmosphere instead of getting dragged along by waypoints.
I need Nightingale's heart to get to the overlap. Where is it?
The cult is getting close. He was there, but he was risen. Nightingale was there.
Unless you're under attack, a tap of a button can instantly transport you to spaces designed to let you take a breath and gather your thoughts. Saga's Mind Place and Alan's Writer's Room both come in the form of small offices where you can upgrade equipment, view collectibles, and interact with their respective boards. Saga's case board houses all the clues accumulated during her investigation, and it's as simple as placing the associated clue on the corresponding spot. With such a complex narrative, the visual aid helps you follow along, and it provides more insight into Saga's inner thoughts. Alan's is a bit different. Instead of a case board, it's a storyboard which he uses to physically change certain locations by combining scenes with different keywords and plot threads, thus providing new clues or opening passages that were previously inaccessible. It brilliantly blends gameplay and narrative context into The Dark Place and Alan's writing background, and when combined with the lamp, it makes this alternate dimension feel threateningly unnatural.
My writing was affecting reality.
While the first playthrough is unforgettable and can last more than 20 to 30 hours, depending on how thoroughly you explore, the lack of unlockable content in New Game Plus is a missed opportunity compared to its contemporaries. If you've managed to dig out all its secrets, there's little reason to go back right away, and there's no chapter select to relive specific moments, grab a missed collectible, or just refresh yourself on some specific plot thread. Thankfully, New Game Plus has been announced for the future, and Remedy has been hard at work patching out bugs since launch. Alan Wake 2 is both a survival horror and psychological horror masterpiece. It represents the best of the genre with extraordinary atmosphere, characters you root for, and a high-stakes narrative with horrifying and emotional weight. Exploration is rewarding, its presentation is pioneering, and it continually makes you question just how much you think you know about what's going on. Remedy has delivered a special game that will be adored forever.
How far would he go to create a perfect work of art? Or would he be the next victim?
Final score, 9.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching our review. We're Easy Allies. We've been writing about games for decades, and we also do podcasts, streams, shows, and more, all funded by regular viewers just like you. Head to patreon.com/easyallies to pitch in and get rewards. And be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay connected on YouTube. See you soon.